Good Libations, which is our show about mixology. And we're going to use, excuse me, a liqueur that I have not used in quite a while today, and that is Chartreuse Green liqueur. And I had mentioned this before, but this liqueur, interestingly, is made by Capuchin monks in Grenoble, France. And it's made from probably about 40 herbs and several citrus. You might say orange and lemon and lime, citrus fruits as well. So it is a complex liqueur with many different nuances and flavors. And also the monks at that particular abbey, the Capuchin monks, they also are the ones who created or genetically modified cats to make the chartreuse cat, which is an interesting looking cat. It's a gray cat, kind of like a Russian blue, but it's more stocky and has skinny legs. In fact, they often say that it looks like a potato with toothpicks. But anyway, from the same monks who created the cat genetically, we have chartreuse liqueur. And not by coincidence, but by method, I have my glass that says easily distracted by cats, because it fits in with that whole idea. But anyway, we're going to make a drink that kind of has a slightly religious title. It's called The Written Word, and it is a drink made with chartreuse, but that title fits because, again, it's made by Capuchin monks. So we're going to put in our chartreuse liqueur first, and we have chartreuse green, but there's also chartreuse yellow. Chartreuse green has about 55% alcohol, and the yellow is about 40%. The green, I think, is more interesting and more complicated. It isn't just the alcohol content, but it's the interesting nuances of all the herbs and citrus fruits that are in this particular, you might say, liqueur. So I already pre-iced the shaker, so I'm going to add the chartreuse green. And chartreuse green makes this a pretty strong drink. So I've made a slight modification in it. And you could use in this drink either gin or vodka. Those are the two clear spirits that work the best. You could actually use light rum, but it's a bit peculiar. Better to stick with gin or vodka. So I'm going to add vodka to it at this point. And then we're going to add fresh lime to the drink. I think I'm going to put this back over here for more visual beauty. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the fresh lime. And sometimes limes, they don't juice very well. And if you have that problem, roll it or stick it in a microwave for a minute, and it will exude juice much, much better if you're going to have difficulties in that way. But this one seems to be doing pretty good, but we will find out for sure in a minute. So we're going to add lime to this drink. And again, this is called The Written Word, which is a funny title for a drink, but whatever. So we're going to squeeze it in, and this seems to be juicing pretty well. And again, hand squeeze your fruit. You might think you're not getting as much juice, but you're getting the oil from the peel. And if you want more juice, simply put more lime in. But the oil from the peel is important because you're getting more complexity when you get that. That is really, really important versus using a juicer. So I'm going to squeeze a bit more juice in just because. All right. Now this drink usually is a drink that I add Cointreau to. And you might think, well, you could substitute triple sec. Well, not quite. If you're making a margarita, you could substitute triple sec, but Cointreau is not as sweet as triple sec. And if you add triple sec to this drink, it kind of ruins it. You might add a little bit of orange curacao, only a little bit. But what I actually prefer to do if I don't have Cointreau or if you can't afford it, is I add a bit of bitter orange. And this particular orange is a bitter orange. It's not a sweet orange. You could use a Valencia orange for this purpose too. So I'm going to add a bit of orange to it so that we get that flavor that we would from Cointreau without the sugary sweet flavor. So at this particular point, I'm going to shake this drink and make sure that everything is in proportion. We might have to add a little bit more of the chartreuse green, but let me see first of all. And when I pour it in and taste it, I'll be able to tell if it needs to be modified. And I think it might, because it's not as green as I would like it to be, which is an indication that maybe there's not enough chartreuse in it. Yeah, just a tad more. And I might as well add it directly in. Yeah, chartreuse liqueur is a wonder in of itself. There's no substitute for it. There is nothing that you can buy that will substitute for it. It's one of a kind. And this is a wonderful drink. It really is. It exhibits the goodness of chartreuse green. And you have, like I said, either a gin or a vodka base and a bit of orange. And again, if you have Cointreau or you could afford it, use it. But otherwise, better to use orange than triple sec. Actual bitter orange, because it will be too sickly sweet, and you don't want that in this drink at all. That is a really nice drink. And again, it's a one-of-a-kind drink. And what you also want to do with this particular drink is add a bit of lime, a wedge of lime as a garnish. And of course, normally this drink would be filled to the top, but I didn't do that. But anyway, you add a wedge of lime and a little bit of the orange also for garnish purposes. And if you want to, you could get a basil leaf also, because it won't interfere with the base flavor of the drink, and add that. But this is quite nice because you're getting a little bit of a garnish and a little bit more flavor, but not ruining the drink or ruining the whole idea of the drink too, of exhibiting the chartreuse green liqueur. But that is so good, so different and so good. And just to review, in a shaker, you're going to use chartreuse green liqueur, you're going to use vodka or gin, perhaps Cointreau, and you're going to use fresh lime, bitter orange, but not triple sec. So again, this makes a really good drink. And those Capuchin monks really had something going when they created this liqueur. It's kind of like the same principle with other spirits, where they've used a lot of different herbs and stuff to create a really nice spirit. I know that's the case with Campari also. That's a one-of-a-kind thing. And also with Rumple Mints and other drinks of that sort. They are created from many different herbs and spices, and they're unique in their own way, and you cannot substitute something else for them. But anyway, this is a nice drink based on chartreuse liqueur. And this is not a cheap liqueur. It's going to set you back a few dollars, but it is really worthwhile because it is one of a kind. So keep that in mind and try to create this drink, the written word. And again, I'm Ethel Andrews. I'm a mixologist. And as I always mention, keep our community safe and well spoken of by being careful in your consumption and getting a designated driver or Ubering if you know you're going to drink beyond your limit. So we always want to be careful. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.